Well, this is the combination of having a little sister as well as being on TikTok. I mean, TikTok puts me onto more shows than any of my friends ever did. It's like these like 30-second clips of the best scene ever in the show, and now I'm watching the whole thing just waiting for it. But that's why we're here today because of Grey's Anatomy. The big thing about this show is that it's what the longest or one of the longest. They're coming up on episode 450. But I've tackled, as we can literally see right there, I've tackled Naruto way more episodes, 720, and then I mean, Criminal Minds. I don't know how many that has, but I've watched all of that pretty much. Um, yeah. So like, we're not scared of the distance, and on it for that matter, I don't care if I watch the whole show. But that's not why we're not here to talk about how much further I'm gonna watch. Maybe that is actually how we'll get into into that. Spoiler alert. I think it's probably 6 seasons. I'm guessing. Okay, we're here to talk about season one though. I just finished season one. It took me about like a week to watch. And I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch season two. I'm here to talk about it. I figured why not? Pretty popular show, and yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV lately, or a lot of anime, a lot of cartoons. So need to get some real life, I guess, into it. But holy cow, this is a fantasy land if we've ever seen one. Let's dive into it. So episodes 1 through 6, I kind of were hooked. Every single episode, I was pretty emotional. Even like I was like, what? Can't wait to watch the next episode. Love the characters, love the dynamic of everybody, loved what they were setting up in the show, and honestly, just loved the role of doctors. That they kind of played in it. And so yeah, I was hooked every single episode. Episode 3 and 6 kind of stand out to me. Episode 3 was the episode where Izzy and George are moving in with Meredith, so you kind of see that dynamic grow, see what they kind of turn into, and then also the emotional part. So if you remember, there was like a massive biking like competition race, so to speak, but like it was like they were smashing into everything, literally killing people. And so like this one dude, John Doe, comes in, and Dr. Yang finds the wife of this person and the daughter and has them inside and is asking them to like if they can donate their organs. And like I'm an organ donor, but like to ask the people that just found out that their loved one died, and then ask them to like pretty much destroy their body, and it was so emotional to see that. And it was kind of really eye opening. It's one of the things I liked in the first few episodes. Immediately you're like, wow. I knew doctors did a ton, I knew nurses did a ton, but this is pretty overwhelming. Now, I know it's not factually correct. I'm not here to say that. But the message you get, at least in the first few episodes. Now, I hear that a big thing is that, okay, is the end of the world at my hospital every single season? We're not talking about every single season. We're talking about this season. And nothing drastic happens until episodes 7 through 9, where the doctors and nurses all just start having sex with each other. I mean, like, what are we doing here? Like, it's one thing to have the Meredith and Shepard thing. I thought that was interesting to see how that was going to play out. And like I love Burke, I love Yang, but like now Yang has a kid on the way. Like that's cool, but like for the drama part of it, but like are they really? And now George is with that girl, but then that one girl who gave him syphilis, who want to kill her. Okay. I don't mean it like that. But like, bro, why do you have to like make George feel like it was the end of the world? And then really you were cheating on him with Karev, or you were just maybe you weren't cheating. You were with Karev. Okay, I don't mean that, but like you made George feel like he like gave you syphilis or something like that, or he like didn't you made it a terrible situation for him for him to find out that Karev was sleeping with you earlier. And Karev, I hear he gets maybe a little bit better. Terrible character. He's the only character that's absolutely the worst. And for that, I kind of love how his character is written. To be honest. But yeah, so that was episode 3, and then episode 6 was uh the lady with the mat. She was like really heavy with a massive tumor, and like Karev says, yeah, leading into why we hate Karev, at least in season 1. Karev's talking behind her back, but the mic is on and saying like, oh, how could she have not gotten that checked out? And then all the doctors are saying it to her, and then you find out that she lost like everyone that's ever been to the hospital, and then she dies, and it's just like such a sad real world that people just have it rough out here. And like, bro, I'm not trying to read into like Grey's Anatomy like that, but I got emotional. I got emotional thinking about that and like seeing how Karev didn't realize his mistakes, but realizes afterwards. Like, dang, like that's terrible. That hurts. Um, but yeah, so those were the episodes that kind of got me hooked, and then uh, let's dive into the characters because the characters are the best part of the show. At least, like every single character I enjoy. Karev is the worst, but he brings what he brings to the table. George is like, oh, I can't. It's hard to cringe so much, but George is rough sometimes. Like that is so tough. And then, yeah. So let's dive into it. First is my number one is Izzy. Um, she like her character is great. You on the surface you think like, oh, she's just the model, but like she seems like she cares almost more than anybody else about the actual people that they're taking care of, where everyone else is like worried about getting by. Of course, Izzy blows up on Meredith for sleeping with Shepard, but that's different than being with the actual patients. She does some things that are just a little bit like, why are we doing this? And that's honestly also parts of 7 through 9 where we're just like, we're doing unnecessary things. Like the dude that was dead and we need to do an autopsy on him, even though it saved that woman's life, it's like, what are we doing here? You did not need to do an autopsy and risk your job. And to be honest, everybody who risks their job never actually, there's no consequences that ever come with it. I think Meredith maybe missed a few times, like days or whatever, but you never saw it in the episode. When I see people have no consequences, it's like when they perform like the hardest tasks where it's like illegal, it was so easy for them to sign the papers and get out of that. Whether it was procedures, the main guy in charge, he got his eyes back, oh, he caught Shepard and like that's like I guess that is a level of it, but just there needs to be better stakes, I guess, and maybe that's gonna come. There is so many seasons of this show still, but it just seems like season one, it was just like, okay, like everybody having fun, out there. Izzy, she's my favorite character. She seems like the most fun, like person, seems like the most caring person, seems like one of the deeper people in the show, so to speak, at least season one. Number two is Christina Yang. She is so badass. Like I just love everything like about her character. And you don't expect her to be the one that gets pregnant, you know what I mean? And I think it's going to be really interesting how that works in season two for sure. And then to kind of go off that, number three is Dr. Bailey. Dr. Bailey. Everything I said about Yang, triple that. Like, no one is cooler in this show than Dr. Bailey. And she is one of those people that does not give, like, any, she does not give you any time of day. It's her way or the highway. And she, yeah, love her character. Next, I will go with number four. We'll go with Dr. Burke. He seems like a really cool dude. And he just seems like someone who is like really in charge and definitely has a deep story to him as well. And yeah, it's you don't think of him as someone sleeping with the interns, I guess, so to speak. So that's really interesting how that works out. Now, so speaking of sleeping with the interns, fifth person, Shepard. I think Shepard is, just a cool dude. At the end of the day, I think he seems like a cool doctor, and he seems like he's the one who like he's willing to play with fire, I guess. Okay, I should talk about Meredith as I talk about the characters, literally every single one besides her. I think she's a little bit dramatic, to be honest. I thought her story with her mom is good. I think like what she's doing at the hospital is good, but just every scene with her is just the most dramatic thing. It's like, I need you to have some fun, It's like, even when she goes to the party and have fun, it's like, you know what? I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and have a party. Like every single time, I get it. Like she's the main character and the story's gotta revolve around her, but just like, let's ease up on that. Let's ease up on it a little bit. There's a lot of characters who have drama, let's ease up. Okay, so I think the number one thing I'm looking forward to in the rest of the show is who the heck just walked up on Shepard. I mean, we get it at the end of season one. We get it that it's, his wife. But like, what? What? I did not see that coming. Maybe I thought it was gonna be like a long lost girlfriend, but like she's calling him. She has her last name, his last name. What am I supposed to think? I'm looking forward to it. I think the second biggest thing is another thing with Shepard. Shepard or Burke, who's taking over? I want to know who's taking over. I want Burke to take over, but Shepard takes over. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. Of course, Meredith's mom. She just remembered her Meredith for the first time in a while. Is that something that will make Meredith, want to spend more time with her? Get all that stuff together. Okay, there's a lot of foreshadowing where Karev kind of becomes the cool dude or seems like a cool guy. Is it gonna happen? I'm looking forward to it if it does. For now, he seems like just a jerk, a straight up jerk. Like the way you can't put those pictures of Izzy everywhere and like not come across as like the worst person ever. And then last thing is of course the Burke and Yang drama. I mean, Burke doesn't even know he's gonna be a dad. Yang doesn't know she's gonna be a mom. I think we know she's gonna want she wants to be a mom, or she at least hasn't had the abortion yet. So we'll see where that goes from there. That was my breakdown and review of season 1 of Grey's Anatomy. You've watched the Yankees post. If you watch the Ohio State post, you watch the anime post, you probably aren't interested in this post, but thanks for watching anyways.